Okay.
I was gonna say, I'm assuming you want to do an intro first.
Well, I just fell asleep.
I don't know what to do for an intro though.
Oh. Like, I'm just saying, like, a hi, what's up, this is what we're doing, like, thing. Like,
Casshern Sins episode 1, go!
something like that. I mean, you know.
It worked. I did it.
Alright, fine. Alright. Alright,
There
fuck
it
it.
is.
Fuck it. Alright, cool.
We'll do it live!
Well, thanks, Bill O'Reilly. Appreciate it.
Okay, so Casshern Sins episode 1, we saw.
We did.
Well, the first thing that happens is something that's a recurring trend, I guess, in the series. The very first thing that happens is, well, I guess not the very first thing. The very, very first thing is that we see that flashback to Luna and Casshern.
Well, that's a very recurring thing
Yeah.
as well. Like, because they kind of do that scene over and over, but reveal a little bit more every time. So they just kind of gave the basic general one this time about Casshern and Luna, not really saying much else other than that.
Yep.
So.
And then the next thing is them dropping you into a contextless action scene really quick and just not really explaining anything, just throwing you into it.
And Casshern just kicking ass. That's all you need to know. Casshern kicking the asses of a bunch of robots who are trying to eat them, even though they don't have a mouth, which is weird. So I don't know how that works, but
Yeah, those first couple of minutes establish pretty much everything you need to know about the plot. It's Casshern killed Luna. That resulted in the ruin happening. Yeah.
and well then
And the robots are trying to kill Casshern because they think that they'll get eternal life if they eat him.
yeah, and then most of this episode is kind of introducing all the characters. Really, like they introduce Ringo and OG and
Yeah, they introduced all the characters that we follow. Liuze.
I mean, I don't think they ever said her name in the first episode, so.
But oh well.
The one pink-haired chick, if for those of you who aren't familiar. I mean,
Not like saying her name is a spoiler though.
well,
so.
no, but I'm just saying, you know, you could say Liuze, and if somebody had just watched the first episode, they'd be like, what? So.
Yeah.
But, so.
I guess the only characters that we don't know are ones that are introduced in the second half. The only ones that we don't see that are important are ones that we see in the second half, but don't show up until the second half.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And then there was the one guy in the cloak who kind of showed up a couple of times, who it was important, but again, not very The first episode kind of it kind of has a reoccurring trend throughout the whole show of being relatively vague with everything. They don't like to do very specific stuff. Like, they're more general, if that makes any sense.
They don't spell things out immediately. This is the most spelling out that you'll get, I think. And the entire thing is spelling out the plot, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But after this point, you won't get any shit spelled out for you at all.
Yeah, it gets kind of ambiguous a lot. So, I mean, it is what it is. So, I mean, obviously it starts out setting the tone for what the rest of the show will be doing, and it's kind of the grim, depressing kind of atmosphere.
Well, on that note, honestly, I think that this episode should have been a little more slow to ease you into telling you what the plot is, because I think that would have fit more in with what the rest of the show does.
Because what we got in the first episode is pretty much all we know for like a while.
Yeah, so it would have been nice if they revealed it a little bit more slowly. So
we actually felt like we were progressing, as opposed to, here's a chunk of information. Alright, here we go. We're going to chug on from here. Oh, by the way, going back to that, we're going to get you some more information. There's large gaps in between actual overarching plot information. It's kind of a more episodic show, so.
Well, at this point, yeah, it's going to be episodic for a bit.
And then the main story will come back around here in the later episodes, so.
Yeah, the only thing that, if my memory serves me correctly, the flashbacks with Luna are going to stop as soon as the continuous story kicks back in. I don't remember exactly when they stop. Wait, maybe do they keep going like through most of it?
I don't remember. I think there may be a certain point where they stop, but
I know that they stop eventually, but I'm not sure. If I want to say that they stop at about the same time that the episodicness stops. I can't remember though.
I think
That could be totally wrong, but we'll find out, I guess.
I hope we can continue watching this. So if we get the remote, because
I forgot it.
But anyway, so.
But yeah, this episode ain't the greatest. It's not the best setup episode, I don't think.
Well, I mean, I guess, especially with anime more so, they're okay with having a kind of slower opening than most. Like, especially in like American shows, you gotta have that opening pilot that is really interesting and explosive and, you know, with lots of hook for more. But with anime, they're kind of got their set runtime.
Well, yeah, I mean, but with that hook for more, I think that the only hook that you needed was Liuze's line at the end, like, and now the world is dead.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that it didn't have a hook. It was just, it was a slower episode. There wasn't a lot going on. It pretty much was just introductions to everybody and some fairly contextualist action sequences. So
And spelling out the plot really quick.
yeah.
I mean, like, I think that they didn't need to tell you that the part about Casshern killing Luna, like, right away. Like, the narration by the one robot in the cloak.
Robot in the cloak.
Yeah, we'll just call him that for now.
Alright.
But, I mean, like, I think that Liuze's line was all you needed to tell you about that part.
Yeah, it's especially for a show that doesn't have as much, main plot, especially to start out with. It would be nice for them to space that out more because it makes you feel like you have large fasts without actually going anywhere in the main story.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's episode 1. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to talk about really quick was the water. Just how awesome the water looked in that one scene with Casshern and Ringo.
I think that whole scene was just absolutely spectacular visually, just because, at least in the opening scene where Casshern is fighting the robots, it's all like gray and depressing, and it's really dark. But then they go over to that scene, and it's a lot brighter, and you got the water and those really cool little rock formations, and it's just got a whole a completely different feel.
That's something that pops up more. It's mostly dull and ugly and barren, and then there's those occasional areas that are just stunningly beautiful.
And I think that kind of goes into the show's kind of theme, because with even the Liuze's the pink hair chick's last line, you know, she's like, the world is dead, but the show will show you those little pockets of genuine, you know, goodness in the world, almost as in
Beauty.
Yeah, as in almost the world is really bad right now, but despite what it looks like, it'll get better.
There's beauty somewhere still.
Yes, very much so. Which I think was a great way a great subtlety they put in the first episode.
On to the next episode.